everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've got a good selection of PC parts which I am going to assemble into a brand new computer. It's been a little while since I last did a major upgrade on my PC. In fact, probably close to 6 or 7 years. So it's long overdue. So let's get it busted out and get it assembled. Thanks for coming along. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to look at is the motherboard, processor, and obviously the cooler, because what I do need to do before I can install the motherboard into the case is fit the bracketry for the cooler to the main board. So that's what I'll do first, as it will make life a lot easier later on. Ooh, stickers are nice. Drinks coaster, yeah, all good. What else we got in here? Manual. Anything else? Ah, here we go. I was beginning to think that there wasn't any cable included, which would have been weird. Quick install plug for the front panel USBs. These screws, I'm assuming, are for the SSD. I'll have to double check that, but that's what I think they're for. So the cabling for, I think that's the cabling for the RGB lighting, and the SATA cables. All good, right. SLI bridge, I'm not going to need that because I'm only running the one graphics card at the moment because I'm not that rich. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Let's get the main board out of the box. It's a cracking little board. Beautiful thing to look at. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the cooler itself. Where's the end of the box? There it is. Manuals. What else we got here? Fans. Bracketry. That looks like an AMD one. That looks like, right, looks like the cooler itself has the Intel, yeah, it's got the Intel bracketry pre-fitted. So there's another fan, right, there's the 3 fans for the cooler. I'll stick them to one, in fact they can all stay in there for the moment because I don't need any of that right now. Move that to one side, and that. Surprising how much space you need to build a PC. Okay then, so looking at the instructions, this is the Intel backplate, and depending upon what type of socket you're using to determine where these go. There's some little standoffs in the package. Some standoffs. Again, they vary depending upon which type of socket you're using. And it looks like those are the ones that I require. Right, then what we need to do is fit the back plate so that they pop through the holes. Let's get them in the right position, shall we? Because I just moved them. And try again. And there we go. So now we can lay it back down again. Okay. So for my processor, I need to screw these standoffs in. Okay, they're all in. Right, I don't need that one, so that can go away. That is the power for the pump. So much hardware comes with this. We've got screws for the cooler and everything. So, but I don't need actually to do anything with that at the moment. So I'll put that again to one side. Because the next thing I'll do with that is when I'm installing the radiator into the case. Right, I think what I'll do next to this is I will install the NVMe SSD next. So for that, I'm going to need a screwdriver. Okay, so I've got the screwdriver, and this is what we're going to be fitting now. And that's going to go underneath this cover here. So let's take the screws out for the cover. Pop them down to one side. Take the cover off. Okay. Okay, let's pull her out of the box. Isn't it incredible how small it can be when it's a 500 gigabyte SSD effectively, and it's absolutely tiny. So let's install that. In there, like so. Then what we need to do, remove the backing. This is basically like a heat spreader. Pop that to one side. Pop the screws back in. Some SSDs actually come with a heat spreader on them. I've noticed. So obviously in that situation, I guess you'd probably be better off without this on. And there are some different screws in the package, which obviously I'm guessing will assist with that. And there we go. That looks like it's fully installed to me. Okay, what I'll do next is install the CPU. Pop the cover off. Undo the gate and lift it up. Okay. CPU. This is a Core i9 9900K. Comes in a little posh bag and everything. Again, it's been a while since I last built a PC, but as far as I could tell, you couldn't actually buy a CPU with a factory cooler nowadays. I don't know whether, or certainly not this one anyway. Let's break in. There we go. We're in. Not that it mattered, because obviously I've got the water cooling one. So, but I suppose it could catch you out if you weren't aware. Okay, how do I get into this sucker? Oh, there's another label. We'll get in eventually. Okay. I'm not actually sure how you open this. There we go. Right, we're in. That was a bit weird. You couldn't actually see the join between the. Right. Packaging alone probably cost an absolute fortune. You know what I mean? Right then, Core i9, 9th gen. Here she is. So, I don't know if you can see it on there. i9 900K, 3.6 gigahertz. Okie dokie. So, that is the orientation for the CPU. Just like that. And that is the CPU installed. There we go. Right then. Okay then, that's the CPU installed. The last thing I'm going to do before we move on to having a look at the case is, let's try and get this open, installing the memory. Okay, so let's crack it open. Everything's so hard to get into today for some reason. Okay, I bought a 16 gig Dominator Platinum RGB kit. Okay, 4 slots. That's A1, A2, B1, B2. So I'll install one in A1 and B1. That's one in. And that's 2. Okay, I think I think we're at the point now where there's nothing really more we can do with the main board at the moment. So I'll stick this to one side, and then we'll get the box out, get the case out, and have a look at that, and see about getting things like the cooler and the CPU, the power supply even installed into the case, and then we'll come back to installing the motherboard. Right then, let's break this case open. See what we've got inside. This certainly looks like a good looking case on the website. It's got a glass tempered side, so you can see in all the components inside. I'm not sure what the Allen key's for. I'm sure that'll become apparent very shortly. There we go, that's probably the easiest way. Hey Pooch, you're not interested in PCs, are you? And there we go. Now that is a good looking case. Wow, that is a nice looking case. Yeah, that is a beautiful case. You can raise and adjust the height of the fan. There's a filter there for the PSU. Okay, let's take the thumb screws out and see what we're left over with. Okay, this little rack here is for SSD, the conventional 2.5-inch SSDs, which is pretty cool. So much going on here that I'm not even sure about, to be fair. I think this is all relating to the RGB lighting. Again, RGB lighting is a fairly new phenomenon to me. It wasn't a thing last time I built a PC. Yeah, it wasn't a thing when I last built a PC, so I'm getting used to that, obviously. And now I know what the Allen key's for, so let's pull that out of the bag. And there's the side panel off. It's quite hefty. It's got some little rubber grommets there, and there's a film over the top of it. So I'll put that to one side. What I'll do, I'll start by removing things like the hard disk cages. There's a little accessory pack. Oops, I just dropped the screw. Let's get that back. I'll be using one of those hard disk cages for my 4TB SSD. Sorry, my 4TB mechanical drive, should I say. How does that come out? That comes out of there somehow. It's held in by a screw just here. Here's a thumb wheel, but it's flaming tight, so I'm using a screwdriver on it. So take that one off, and that slides back and pops out. Okay. Power supply cover. Yep, there, that one. Once I work out all the intricacies of the case, I'll be able to get the bits out of it. Pop the cap up. And there we go. Right then. Yeah, there's a little mesh dust shield. It's a nice little touch. Leave that in there like that. Right. Okay. Okay, here's the Corsair HX 850i power supply that I'm going to use. This is platinum, 80 plus platinum certified. Thought I'd give it a bash. 850 should be more than enough to power this system. My only concern is whether it fits in the case, but I'm pretty sure it will. We'll just need to go easy, I guess. Come on, let's get this open. Everything comes in posh bags nowadays. When did this become a thing? You know, I'm not sure when that became a thing. What's that? Silent operation at low to moderate loads. In this mode, the fan will not spin. Yes. I'm guessing that was a do not panic label. Do not worry that your fan isn't spinning. All right then. So, let's offer her up. That's going to have to come, the caddy for the hard drives are going to have to come out in order to install the cables. Yeah, okay. So should have a bag of screws. There they are. Kettle lead. And there's all the cables. Obviously being modular, I only need to install the cables that I require. Hello, girl. What are you doing? You come and see what's going on? She's interested. She likes shiny stuff. Okay, let's get the screws in. Okay. There we go. So that's installed into the chassis. What I'll do is take this thumb wheel out. Wow, they're all really tight, every single one. Take this thumb wheel out, and then I can remove the hard drive caddy. And there we go. So I'll put that back in there for the moment. Oop. Goes in the machine. Right. Okay, and now I've got access to plug in the cables that I need. What I am going to need to do is remove this case fan, as the radiator is going to be occupying this space, and it's obviously a 360mm radiator, so it'll fill all of this 3 fans. So yeah. Actually, looking here, it looks like there's actually 2 positions that caddy could have gone in, so we could move it that way or this way, but we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that shortly. I think the next thing we'll do is install the cooler, but that will be after I've removed this fan. So I'll remove this fan first when I figure out how to get the front of the case off, which looks like it's these clips here. And then we'll get this fan off. What we need to do now, however, is we need to move all the cables out of the way, actually, because they're going to be, let's put them out there for the present. And there we go, that's where the radiator is going. So let's get this out and have a good look. Right then, so obviously 3 fans mount onto here, and then it bolts onto the chassis. I'm thinking it's going to be best to have this end of the radiator at the top, obviously, because I don't think it might do, but I don't want it going that way. I'd rather it went across to the CPU, because the CPU will be around about here. Okay, next we need the 3 fans. Okay, so there we go. That's the fans all installed onto the radiator. So now we need to install the radiator into the case. And it's going in just like that. As you can see, there's a bit of room. You can take it up, down, and what have you. So what I need to do, I'll lay that down actually for the moment, and get some screws. And there we go, happy days. I think I could put the front cover on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it off for the moment, because I'm not sure if I need to be able to get in here for anything else. So I'll leave it off for the moment, just in case. Okay. What we'll need to do is install all the connectors for the fans. We'll do that once the main board's been installed, which I think we are about ready for. Okay, we've got standoffs in place already in the ATX positions. little bleeder of a cable in the way. Let's get that done. Yep, we've got it that time. Okay. Now let's make sure all the holes are aligned. That one's obviously a little guidepost. So there's 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 for me to install. Okay, there's the board installed. Right then, what I'm going to go for next is mounting the hard disk drive. Into its caddy. Ooh, silica gel, do not eat. Okay, so yeah, it's going to go in. No, it's going to go in. Yeah, it's going to go in that way. Yep. So pop it in like that. Yep, just like that. And then I'll leave that over there for the moment because it's going to go inside that once I put it in the chassis, but that's not going to happen just yet. Okie dokie. Okay, so there's a cable coming from the pump, part of the cooler, that the 3 fans connect into. That one's going to go to the CPU header, which is over here, and then that one's going to go to SATA power, so they'll be waiting until later on. I think what I may do is actually install the cooler now, and then it's going to be out of my way and not bothering me. Sitting at the side where it is right now. So let's move that one over there. Let's get this out of its bag, and then double check how we're going to do this. So it's going to go on. I like it in that orientation. Or do I want it that way? Because there's a link cable from there that's got to go to a USB header, so I might put it that way around actually. Yeah, we'll go with that. So let's disconnect these for the moment. Okay, let's pop this plastic cover off. As you can see, it's already got thermal compound pre-applied. Pop it over the top of the standoffs. Add a thumb screw. Add a thumb screw to each corner. What we'll do once they're on, we'll tighten each corner down a little bit by a little bit until they're nice and tight and they're holding the cooler and the pump assembly firmly. Okay, so use my screwdriver, tighten each one down. And there we are, that's nice and firm and snug on there. Right then. I think I may use a tie wrap up here just to keep them out of the way. That one's the SATA power, so that can come up here. And this one goes to the CPU fan, which is the far one. So it goes on there. Just tuck the cable out of the way. Okay. Next, let's connect. Right, let's move those over there. They're going to go up there. So let's do that now. And we're going to connect each of the front fans. And then they can also be neatly tucked out of the way. We'll secure them later on using another tie wrap. Right then. There's a USB header, so we might as well fit that now. Okay, we've now got two USB headers. One of these I think supplies the power for the RGB lighting. Actually, this one isn't a USB at all, this one's a HD audio. Where's the HD audio? There's the HD audio. What I'll actually do, let's put that up through there, like that. HD audio. Okay, USB, and then this one is the power, USB power. Cut that like that, so it's neat. I'm going to put that SATA cable out through the grommet. Like that. Okay, we've got a chassis fan connector here. There's one of those screens over the top of that, yep. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Right, what we need next is to start installing cables for the power supply. They are all contained in here. So, we know that we need SATA power. We need a few of them. We know we need, what's this one? Chunk 3. That's a GPU cable. That looks like a GPU cable. That's a SATA. Loads of SATA. Don't think I need any regular Molex. Doesn't look that way at the moment anyway. That's the one so you can control fan tests and stuff. Fan tests and things like a USB cable that goes down to a USB port on the board. What else have we got here? That's the CPU one that goes over here. Definitely need that. Oh, that's a PCI Express one. Right, okay, yep. Another SATA. What we got here? That's floppy. Okay. Anybody still using floppies? Not even sure what that one is yet. Plenty of SATAs. Molex. I don't think I need Molex. Pretty sure I don't need Molex. I need that one. Right then. Okay, so let's have a look. Peripheral and SATA, 6+2 PCIe and 4+4 CPU. So the 4+4 CPU is over there. Where is my 4+4 CPU? That's a Molex, so I don't need that. That 24-pin ATX, yeah, that's that one. So we'll fit this one. Let's get this one on that. These, I've got to be honest, aren't the nicest cables I've ever used. I've seen some nice braided ones in the past that are round as well, and the round ones tend to be a bit more forgiving on the routing, but I suppose you can't have everything, I guess. All right then. So let's take that out through that grommet. Back up there and connect her up. Just got to remember when I fit the hard drive cage that it's got to go in this gap, so I've got to make sure I leave plenty of room for that. Okay, what we got next? SATA power, SATA power. Let's move the SATA power ones over there. Right, I think what we'll do, we'll connect what we got here. Yeah, get the CPU one up next. Okay, that's the CPU one. I think what I'll do, I'll take that way. Oops. Let's go underneath that. And then pop it in over there. She will go through. What's stopping you? There you go. Right. And then plug her in. Perfect. That keeps it hidden behind the back cover. Right, PCI Express. What else we got? Loads of PCI Express cables, but we only need one of them. And then we'll leave that one to one side for the moment, for when we fit the graphics card. Okay, what I've done, I've fitted all the cables that I require to the PSU. and I've put the hard drive cage back in its position, and I've put the rear panel on because I no longer need to be on that side of the case. So everything now is pretty much a case of just plugging in and finishing off. What I've done is I've actually connected the, let's get the right way up, SATA cable to the mechanical drive. So that's now fully connected up. What I'll do is just push all that back down inside there. That keeps it nice and tidy. This case is pretty good for cable routing. These two connectors here are the SATA power connectors for various things like RGB lights and stuff like that. They didn't quite fit in the gap between the back panel, between this panel and the back case panel, so I've just put them in here. But I'm not too concerned. Drop the screw. Not too concerned by that. Right, now this cable here is for the graphics card. So what I'll do next is I'll pull the graphics card out of its box and we can take a look at it. Obviously, as you can see, it's the RTX 2080. I didn't go for the 2080 Ti because mainly because it was twice the price, and it's not, well, in my opinion, it's not twice the performance. So I don't believe that you're getting your money's worth. All right, if you want bragging rights, then by all means, take yourself out and buy one, but not this guy. Okay. It's a beast of a card. It's absolutely enormous. All right then, so what we'll do I think is put it there. Yeah, we'll put it there. So those two there need to come out. Okay, all right then, let's fit the card. Neatly in its slot, pop it in. Okay, and there's the screws fitted. All that remains for me to do is fit some power. Okay, just like so. And then what we'll do is the excess cable, in fact the excess cable can come down here. It's a bit of flex in that board. Okay, so that's the graphics card installed. Next thing that I want to install is this. Now this cable is a USB cable effectively, and what it does is it plugs into the side of the pump and water block, just there, and then the other side connects to an empty USB header, and that will give us the ability to well, do many things actually, like monitor temperatures and stuff like that, but you can also, more importantly, adjust the lights, which is pretty cool. As I said earlier, this RGB lighting stuff is all pretty new to me. I've never had anything like that before. In fact, like I said, I didn't even know it existed until only a couple of months ago. So let's put that one. Probably should have done this earlier on, it would have been easier to get to. And there we go. What I'll do, I'll stick that underneath the SATA cable. Just like so. There we are. Okay. All that remains for me to do now is to go around the case using some tie wraps and sort out my cable management, and then I can get the side on. And then I simply have to install Windows, and then I'm good to go. Well, obviously this was a break from the norm. I don't normally do videos about things like this. This was a bit different. I needed to upgrade my PC because, especially when editing videos such as this one, my previous one was starting to, you know, it was starting to fall to its knees a little bit when it came to editing videos. It didn't have the guts. So I thought it was about time I upgraded. So that's what I did. And I thought, why not, you know, why not video it all for you? So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, then feel free to give me a like and subscribe for more stuff from Kev Shed. Thank you very much if you stuck with it for the whole way through. It's good to have you along, and I would love to see you all again. Thank you, and bye-bye. Bye.